A Better Future. A short book envisioning a better future. Preface. A few words before I begin. This book is focused on European history and the current state of the USA and Europe. This book shouldn't be applied to Asia, Africa, or Latin America, where geopolitical and economic conditions are different. However, I do make mention of these regions, although they are brief overviews, as I specialize in European and American history and I don't want to make misinformed statements. I will also acknowledge that this book contains some humor, but that is for the purpose of accessibility, not unprofessionalism. This book is also meant to be a mostly informal view of anti-capitalist theory, digestible to the average person in a manner which I wish I had when I was looking for alternatives to capitalism. This book is also meant to reinvigorate, reassess, and reimagine centenarian old anti-capitalist theory. I also suggest reading slowly, to make sure you fully grasp the discussion, as I change topics rather frequently. Some of the views expressed here will be highly controversial even among anti-capitalists, as I don't agree with every anti-capitalist idea. Note, we are probably the most disorganized major political group in existence, so I expect a large number of anti-capitalists to disagree with this. Almost no two anti-capitalists have the exact same beliefs. If you've ever felt powerless, or like your entire life was decided by where and who you were born to, this book is for you. Everywhere you look, you see misery. People work meaningless jobs they despise just to stay alive, while debt they'll never dream of paying off accumulates. The poor are dissatisfied with their lives. They bear witness to the slow and excruciating death of humanity, a death that takes all living life with it. They watch as the oceans rise, global wildfires violently and horrifically take their lives, the destruction of life on Earth, world war, and global nuclear annihilation looms. The poor can do nothing but be a viewer as the system, a system that has done nothing but punish their very existence since birth, unravels before them. You, the reader, need to understand that we have no intention to harm you, your family, or loved ones. We want to help us all so much that most of us are willing to die for the cause, which we believe will solve major issues and liberate humanity. We, the socialists, are just people, like you, who have come together, united by a dream of freedom. We dream of a world where your life wasn't chosen by who you were born to. We dream of a world where your race doesn't decide how easy your life is. We dream of a world where decisions you made when you were young don't affect you forever. Won't you dream with us? The world is returning from a global pandemic that claimed the lives of millions. While even more claim the entire event was a hoax propagated by queer Jewish communists meant to implant tracking devices into our blood. The world is suffering under the worst mental health crisis our planet has ever seen, particularly affecting our youth, with suicide being one of the top causes of death for young people. The pandemic leaves ripples that will surely affect our society for decades, the first sign being how dramatically school grades dropped. You will be able to instantly date what time period an event took place solely by if the people are wearing masks, which has now become an international signifier of our generation. Our young have no hope to ever live a fulfilling life. They grow in a world where their parents, suffering the same as us all, waste their last dollars on whatever cope they can find, be it drugs, booze, or narcotics. Children cope with addictive platforms such as TikTok or YouTube, which are placed before them before they can form complete sentences. These years, especially important for learning life lessons, socializing, and developing important skills, are instead replaced by mindless addictive content optimized to exploit children for money. Our teen girls fake mental disorders and pretend to be what they aren't for attention, whilst not even knowing how many states in America there are. While our teen boys are indoctrinated by an ideology of hate and misogyny. Our youth are experiencing major behavioral issues, and the state of teaching is horrendous. Schools underfunded and teachers underpaid and disrespected by students experiencing a mental health crisis. Teachers are leaving in droves, with the remaining teachers having to pick up the work until replacements can be found, which drives even more teachers to quit. In this vulnerable time, the opportunists and charlatans will attempt to scapegoat minorities, to blame your fellow man, but I implore you to remember that your fellow workers are not your enemy. The enemies of the working class are the same who benefit from this pain, from global misery. The obscenely rich, who fund our state officials to lie about climate change, and who spread misconceptions about our saviors, who benefit from the destruction, war, and chaos the world is delving into. What they don't realize is this is not the time for division, but the time for ultimate unity among your fellow workers. When you are lost, you don't lash out at everyone around you, you ask for directions. Humanity is a social species, we always have been. You don't thrive as a collective by killing or beating each other. Together we have made amazing accomplishments, from gaining the minimum wage, to food and workplace regulation. From outlawing slavery, to ending child labor. History has taught us time and time again that when we, the workers, the muscle of the world, unite and fight against exploitation, we win. When we unite and fight, and when we remember the sacrifices our fellow workers have made, the oppressors are guaranteed to lose. They need us, no matter how much they try to lie. Know that if we band together and don't compromise, we will gain everything we ask for and more. Even though humans have left ripples on the planet that will last for tens of millions of years, and we may be the reason complex life goes extinct for millions of years, there is reason for optimism. Humanity is not doomed, complex life still exists. Even if we fix the problems today, we will have to brace for one of the most difficult challenges life on our planet has ever faced, which will leave countless species in a state of either extreme disruption or total annihilation. But there is time, we can prepare, protect, and prevent. Even though humans are the main cause behind the Holocene mass extinction event, humans are not bound to destructiveness. We are the brain of life, most of us want to not destroy the world. We are the most unique, intelligent, and interesting life form to ever exist, and we have won those titles by working together. Each of us live a life no other one of us will ever live, an entirely unique life. Most of us don't want to watch our planet or fellow humans suffer. It is not us, humanity in totality, that is destructive. If we were united, instead of divided as the rich want us to be, we could save our planet. We could help the poor, we could save thousands of species, we could reverse the growth of the Sahara, we could end global warming, even if it isn't profitable. As the only species capable of saving the world, and the species that is the source of these problems, this is our task. I only ask you to hear me out when I say this: there is not just a possibility of survival, but for the thriving of life. But to do this, we must stop killing, we must stop the bigotry and resentment over immutable traits, we must work as a collective, as a species, to save the world. If we fail, there is no hope for the survival of life, and a mass extinction event unlike anything we've ever seen could wipe out complex life on Earth for millions of years. In the previous chapter I make an exaggeration, however this is not an issue for any following chapters. The Holocene mass extinction event is likely to kill most complex life like all other mass extinction events, but not all, like I said in the chapter. In the previous chapter I make